What is up, everybody? Tuboversity here today, and we're gonna talk about Deviation Games. Apparently, this Sony-owned studio from 2X experienced Call of Duty developers. They've been working on a game, a big AAA game for Sony since 2020, and this studio has been closed, so this game is gonna be canceled as well. So that is crazy. That is just ridiculous. 4 years just down the drain. No exclusive team be shown. Sony is losing studios left and right. It is very troubling how they don't have pretty much any at all. I'm thinking they have no first party games this year, no big ones. They said they won't have any big first parties until like the end of 2025 or whatever it was, the announcement they made before. And now they're getting rid of more first party games. It's just like when it rains it pours, I guess, from Sony, because they just no first party games anywhere in sight. And once again, where is the outcry? Where is the outrage about this? This was Xbox. We wouldn't hear the end of it. But, PlayStation, they could just not have exclusives, and they're shutting down studios. But people had a freaking meltdown over Microsoft laying off some employees. But PlayStation don't got no games. They literally have no games. And this is an issue, apparently. Well, let's see what people got to say about this. I think it's just a complete tragedy. This is just disgusting. They can just get away with having no games. And people still buying a system like this. Well, let's see what people got to say about this. Now, PlayStation killed another studio already. What a joke the PS5 has become. Damn, more layoffs and studio closures. This is a heavy restructuring program by Sony. Knowing by good sources, we are still not at the end of more to come. Okay. PlayStation, the killer of studios. Yeah, they definitely like to axe those studios, apparently. Let us know the day for any startup game studio. Don't go into business with Sony. Oh, man. Keeps getting worse every month this year. RIP. That is sad. It kind of is, but it's kind of like people getting laid off left and right. Studios shutting down. No games in sight. What is going on right now on PlayStation? I say this has to be legit the worst PlayStation generation by far. Well, people are still brag about the console sales, which has proved that doesn't really do anything. They still let go people. I don't know how much you can brag about if they still got to let go of people. They still got to fire people. So this has probably been the worst PlayStation generation by far. I don't think that's deniable at this point in time. Like, it's just a clown show over there right now. Damn you, Xbox, damn you. We really think Sony guys are gonna flip this and say it was Xbox doing this or some nonsense? Like, really? If I were a Sony partner studio, I'd be running away from them ASAP. They shut down studios before they even produce anything. And what makes it worse too is that they're giving money to these third-party studios like Square Enix to make their games exclusive to their platform, while they just produce absolutely nothing. And then Square Enix is suffering because their games are selling less than the previous ones. So all over around, Sony is just like, they're just like, they got like the reverse Midas touch. They're just like tainting everything they're a part of at this point in time. It's just crazy. Sad news for Deviation Games, as they have unfortunately closed their doors. It's so disappointing they didn't get the opportunity to release their debut project. Best wishes to the talented team for their future endeavors. Like, bro, like, how much longer did it take to make the game? They couldn't make, I wouldn't even say close down, but they couldn't make them release the game before they did all this. Like, this money just down the drain. Would the IP stay with the devs to potentially release at a later date, or is it just dead? I think that thing is just RIP. That's just dead at this point. Going by history, Sony IP, probably why they closed when Sony pulled away instead of finding a new publisher, is why those kinds of exclusivity deals maybe aren't the healthiest, and why I always hated the organic narrative. Okay. The bootlicking on stage was not rewarding after all. I don't know what he's referencing, but apparently the Deviation Studios, they apparently were doing some bootlicking for Sony, just didn't pay off. That's what he's trying to say here. The Sony curse, bro. It seems like definitely a curse this year with Sony, because it is not a good look. I don't know how even the diehards are going to try to spin this. I don't think the diehard Sony fans can even spin this to make it a positive. This is just bad all around. This is horse crap. The PlayStation effect. PlayStation has been involved in 5 studio closures in the last 4 years, 4 first party, and now this. Remember when Jeff Keighley made a big show of the fact that they were partnering with PlayStation? Yeah. Zombie YouTubers after spending 2 years sucking off Deviation Games, only for them to close and never release anything. Kill all the live service projects as soon as possible. Then they definitely won't have any games at that point. Then that's gonna be even worse. Oh man, Sony. This generation of Sony is something else. Damn, is PS5 gonna have any games left to announce? It's not looking like it. Not worried. Jason Blundell left Deviation in September 2022. Yet Call of Duty zombie YouTuber JC Backfire got hired by Sony to work under Blundell in December last year. Sony has taken the important talent from the past few years it didn't have long. Okay, little history right there. Remember, it's only bad if Xbox closes studios and lays off its workers. Yeah, where is those 10-hour spaces about this? You know, the guy, I wouldn't mind with name, but the guy who had a complete hissy fit and he said he just completely done with Phil and the Xbox team. Where is that guy making spaces about this? Because he was so doom and gloom about Xbox. Where is the spaces about this? Like, really? Like, you going to ignore all this PlayStation negative news, but you throw a hissy fit over the Xbox situation? What about them potentially pushing over games that most people don't care about, besides like Hi-Fi Rush? Really, just never forget that happened. We had the whole Xbox civil, quote unquote civil war, people freaking out saying that they feel betrayed by Xbox, but nobody, the same people have no reactions to this apparently, huh? It's pretty quiet in this whole Twitter spaces right now, as got news like this happening. Organic growth, eh? Yeah, this don't seem too organic. There's definitely not no growth going on at this point. Why are people using PlayStation backed when Sony hasn't backed them in almost a year? Traffic down in e-clicks. So he shouldn't report on it then? This is still pretty big news. I don't know what this dude was talking about. This just sounds like some copium right there. Love even how the ponies are moving the goalposts all over. They always do. Sony is a mess right now. Very accurate. Not enough PlayStation symbols and dual crap controllers plastered on their walls. Pathetic, really. The Series S's fault. Yeah, at the end of the day, this is sad to see, because it's like every other day there's like an announcement of somebody getting closed down or just layoffs happening. It's just crazy. It's so normal. People get just getting desensitized to it at this point. Just people being laid off in the gaming industry, left and right. These layoffs from these companies are getting out of hand. PlayStation's organic death. Deviation Games, another studio working exclusive for PlayStation, bites the dust. Sony is just killing their studios right now. How are they not being caught up for this? I want to know the same thing as well. I want to see those 10-hour Twitter spaces you guys had about Xbox. Definitely the gaming media. Y'all, people went crazy about Xbox, but not a peep. I don't see the same energy right here. Which Sony is literally like the Grim Reaper for gaming studios right now. Which, okay. I was like, oh, we really think them giving Xbox giving Sony 4 games is that big of a deal? In the grand scheme, Sony is like killing off these studios left and right, though. Okay. Contraction in the gaming continuing. Yeah, so I'm included right here. It's another situation where more layoffs are happening, and this time it's another Sony-owned studio, which didn't pay off. So it's just crazy that 4 years can go down the drain, all that money wasted, and then nothing is produced from it. That's just wild. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Do you think this is major red flags? Once again, I just don't understand how people can be so outraged about the Xbox situation that happened a few weeks ago, but not really the same outrage about this, which I think is probably worse than the Xbox situation. Don't want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.